It was the year 1957. Andrew Harrison III sat in his skyscraper in Boston, surrounded by concrete, steel, and endless loneliness. He was 32. He owned half of the city's skyline, but felt like the poorest man in the world. Women saw his Lincoln Continental, his perfect suit, and his famous name. But no one saw him. Every look was a business offer, every smile, a price. He was sick of this false world. One day, when he was supposed to fly for another deal, Andrew made a crazy decision. He fired himself and called it a creative break. He left his name locked in a safe, put on an old blue overall, smelling of oil and dust, and became Andy, a simple carpenter. He wasn't looking for fun. He wanted something real, honesty that lives only in simple life. His first job as Andy was to pick up some old boxes from a small but elegant antique shop on Beacon Street. The shop smelled of wax, old wood, and forgotten times. And that's where he met her. Claire Winters looked like a porcelain figure, fragile, elegant, but her eyes shone with strong will. Andy was so shocked by her calm beauty that he dropped and broke an antique chair with a loud crash. "Oh, for God's sake!" Her voice was full of pain, not anger. "You broke it. It's from the 18th century." Andy felt guilty like a little schoolboy. "I'm so sorry, ma'am. I'm clumsy. I'll pay for the repair," he said quickly. Claire looked at him, a man in blue overalls. There was no contempt in her eyes, only deep tiredness and sadness. "Pay?" She gave a bitter smile. "You workers say that so easily. Where will you get the money, Andy? From your small salary? Forget it. Just please, go." She didn't even ask for money. She understood, for a poor carpenter, repairing antique furniture would cost too much. She didn't see a fool in him, she saw a victim of life. And that was the most expensive thing Andrew ever bought, her honest compassion, born from his fake poverty. The next morning, Andrew came back. He couldn't leave Claire with a broken chair. He took his old tools and quietly entered the shop. "Miss," he said softly. "I came to fix the chair. For free. It's my duty as an honest man." Claire raised her eyebrows in surprise. "You? But, you'll lose a working day, Andy." "I took a day off," he smiled warmly for the first time. "For my soul." While he worked, using the engineering skills he had learned in the best universities, Claire watched him. Her eyes followed his strong, working hands as they carefully repaired the old wood. "You are very precise, for a builder," she said gently. "Engineering. I like when things work," he replied. Claire nodded. "I wish I had an engineer like you for my old German clock. The mechanism is so complex. I can't sell it until it works, but I can't afford an expensive master. That clock is the key to my future." Andrew, who could easily buy the whole shop with the clock, put down his tool. He suddenly felt truly needed. "I can try," he said. Claire smiled, her face bright like sunlight. "Oh, Andy. Thank you. You are so real. You're not afraid of work. Not like those rich idlers who only waste money and time." These words cut deep into Andrew's heart. She hated the man he truly was, but trusted the man he pretended to be. And her trust meant more to him than all the wealth he had ever owned. A few days later, when Andrew almost believed in his new life, trouble came. One evening, the phone rang. Claire picked it up, and her voice suddenly broke. "Oh my God. Sebastian. What happened? Asthma? Right now? So expensive?" Claire fell on the chair and covered her face with her hands. "My brother, Sebastian," she cried. "He has a bad asthma attack. He needs a new inhaler, the best one. The doctor said it's about his life." And it costs so much, Andy. We barely have money for food. Andrew felt his heart tighten. He was ready to give her everything. I can help, Claire. I have some savings. But Claire jumped up, her eyes full of both pain and pride. No. Never. I can't take money from you, Andy. You worked hard for every cent. I won't take your only chance for a better life. I'll manage. I'll take a night shift. She grabbed an old, worn-out brooch from the table. She was ready to sell her last family treasure, but not to take help from the man she thought was as poor as she was. Andrew stood silent, powerless in front of her pride. His lie became a wall between them. He couldn't tell her the truth, that one phone call could solve everything. But he couldn't watch her suffer either. That night he made a decision, he would help her, but secretly. Their first real date happened in a small cheap diner called Luigi's. The air smelled of tomato soup and fried onions. But for Andrew, it was the purest, most beautiful place on earth. Luigi makes the best soup in town. And it's cheap, she smiled. This is the best date of my life, Andy. Better than the ones in the Ritz? He asked carefully. Claire frowned with disgust. The Ritz? That's for rich men who don't value food, or the women they come with. They look at you like your decoration. She touched his hand. But you see me. Her words were sweeter to him than any success on the stock market. My father worked all his life, she said quietly. One of those rich men cheated him. He lost everything. And then, his heart stopped. That's why I hate them, Andy. They take, they don't give. They destroy. Andrew lowered his head. Not all rich men are like that, Claire. Maybe some of them are just lonely. Maybe they want to build something real. Build? She shook her head. No. They only buy. And when they buy, they break everything you love. Andrew understood. She was talking about his family, the Harrisons, who bought and rebuilt half of Boston. He saw that his lie wasn't just a game now. It was a ticking bomb. And when it exploded, it would destroy not only their love, but her faith in honesty. That night, he couldn't sleep. Claire's proud refusal burned inside him. He knew she would take more jobs, maybe 2 or 3, until she collapsed, just to save her brother. The next morning, Andrew went to work, not as Andy the carpenter, but as Andrew Harrison III. He locked himself in his office. For the first time, his wealth wasn't a curse, it was a tool. He called his lawyer and spoke in a dry, official voice. I need the Hospital of St. Jude to receive enough funds for the full treatment of Sebastian Winters. It must look like a large anonymous donation from the Boston Charity Group. No names. No trace. The lawyer, used to his boss's strange orders, did exactly as told. That same day, while Claire ran between the shop and her night job as a cleaner, the hospital received the money. It covered all of Sebastian's medicine, and even gave him a private room for a whole year. Andrew felt relief, but also deep pain. He had saved her brother, but he couldn't share her joy. He had to stay Andy, the man in the dirty blue overalls, the man who could offer her only his strong, honest hands. Thank you for listening to our stories, we do our best for you. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss the new ones. A week later, Claire was glowing. Her face, which had looked so tired before, now had a soft, healthy color again. Can you believe it, Andy? She said, polishing an old vase until it shone. It's a miracle. The hospital got a big anonymous donation. Sebastian is now in a better room, and they started giving him the best medicine. The doctor said he has a real chance to get well. Andrew listened, feeling his heart beat faster. He wanted to hold her, to cry out, "It was me. I did it. My money saved your brother. But he stayed silent, only squeezing his work glove in his hand. That's wonderful, Claire, he said, trying to sound calm and simple. It's a sign, Andy. A sign that there is still good in this world. She took his hand, and that touch meant more to him than any handshake with a billionaire. Thank you for being here for me, Andy. You're my lucky charm. Her affection grew stronger every day. They shared simple lunches, sitting on wooden boxes behind the shop. They laughed about silly little things. Andrew forgot about his Lincoln Continental, his business deals, his partner Thomas. He was just Andy, a man whose worth was in his honest eyes and strong hands. Their love was pure, but it was built on a foundation of lies. In his search for truth, Andrew had created the most dangerous trap, for his own heart. One evening, after Andy finally fixed the old German clock, they sat on the roof of the shop, looking at the lights of Boston. Claire rested her head on his shoulder. The clock is ticking, Andy, she whispered. That means I still have a future. What kind of future do you see for us, Claire? He asked softly, his voice shaking. A simple one, she answered without doubt. We'll build our own house, Andy. With our own hands. Near the sea, far from tall buildings and rich people. You'll work, build things, and I'll take care of the home. The only thing that matters is honesty. I'm tired of lies and pretending. I want a man who keeps his word and believes in real work. She turned to him, her eyes shining in the streetlight. You are my hope, Andy. You showed me that a man can be poor but honest. I love you. I love every callus on your hand. I love your conscience. I love you because you are you, not because of what you have. Andrew closed his eyes, his throat tight with emotion. These were the words he had always wanted to hear, but they were said to a mask, not to him. I can give you more than just a house, Claire, he blurted out. I can give you the life you deserve. Luxury. Claire moved away a little, and a shadow of suspicion crossed her face. I don't need more, Andy, she said sharply. I need you. The honest you. If you start talking about money or luxury, that means you're becoming like the others. Promise me, Andy, promise you'll never build our life on easy money, only on honest work. Andrew was trapped. He couldn't tell the truth without breaking her faith in him. I promise, Claire. I'll always be honest with you, he said. Telling the biggest lie of his life. The next day, Andrew bought a ring. It was not from the family collection, those were too fancy. This one was simple, made of platinum, with a big, clear diamond. He wanted to end this unbearable lie. He would ask Claire to marry him, and after she said yes, he would tell her everything and beg for forgiveness. He picked up the phone to call Claire, but suddenly his secretary, Thomas, ran into his real office. Mr. Harrison. Thomas shouted, his voice full of panic. I've been looking for you for weeks. Your creative vacation almost destroyed the company. The deal with Miller Enterprises failed, and your uncle, Mr. Edgar, wants to call the board meeting. He plans to take away your right to vote. Thomas grabbed Andrew's sleeve, there was still some dust from his work clothes on it. You must fly to Washington right now, he said. This is not about money, sir. It's about the honor of the Harrison family. If you miss this meeting, you will lose not only the company but also your family name. Andrew stood still, holding the small box with the ring in his pocket. On one side was Claire, waiting for him in the shop. On the other, duty, honor, and family legacy. I have to go, Thomas, Andrew whispered, torn between two lives. But first, I must do something. He knew this choice would change everything, his future and the way Claire would see him. There was no simple carpenter Andy anymore. Only Andrew Harrison III, who had to save his empire, even if it meant losing his love. Andrew spent 2 days in Washington, fighting for the Harrison name. He won, he saved the contracts and the reputation. But every minute in the meeting room felt like torture. He knew that his victory meant nothing if he lost Claire. Before flying back to Boston, he called the hospital. He didn't call as Andy, but as the secretary of the Boston Charity Group. He wanted to be sure that Sebastian was fine. He couldn't let even a small delay put Claire's brother in danger. Sebastian Winters is stable, the nurse said. He's walking again, feels strong, and is thankful to his secret helpers. He's even reading newspapers, sir. Andrew ended the call before the nurse finished speaking. He asked the driver to take him to the hospital. He wanted to see Sebastian, even from the hallway, before going to Claire. In his hurry, he forgot to change his clothes. He was still wearing his expensive suit, now wrinkled after long, stressful flights. At that same moment, Claire was waiting in the hospital hall for the doctor. She was holding a newspaper. On the front page was the headline, "Businessman Harrison Saves $1 Million Deal in Washington." She looked absently at the photo, a young, confident man shaking hands with politicians. Then she heard footsteps. Sebastian entered the hall. He could walk again. He saw Andrew in his elegant suit walking quickly to the reception desk. "Wait, Claire," Sebastian said excitedly, showing her the newspaper. "Look. That's him. Andrew Harrison. The paper says he owns half of Boston." Claire looked up, following her brother's hand. Her heart skipped a beat. Andrew turned and saw her. Their eyes met. There was no recognition in hers, only shock. Then slowly, painfully, that shock turned into disgust. When Andrew noticed the newspaper in Sebastian's hands, he knew it was too late. He ran to Claire, but she stepped back. She didn't say a word, but her eyes screamed, "Liar." Confused, Andrew stopped at the reception desk to grab his folder and rushed out. He didn't notice a paper falling from the folder, a sheet with his initials and some notes about a new building project. Claire picked it up. Her hands were shaking. In that terrible moment, everything became clear: his name, his money, the anonymous donation. Their whole love story had been built on lies. She didn't just feel betrayed, she felt humiliated. He hadn't trusted her heart. Claire was waiting for him in the shop. She didn't cry. She looked calm and proud, like an old statue that had just found its voice. Andrew ran to her. He looked tired and broken. "Claire, I wanted to tell you everything. I can explain." He started, but she stopped him with her hand. "Andy?" she asked, and her voice sounded like broken glass. "Or Andrew Harrison III? Did you think I was some cheap girl you could buy with lies and dinners? Did you think I only love poor men? No, Claire, no." His voice shook. "I didn't hide money. I hid my curse. I was afraid you would leave me like everyone else if you saw that I don't belong to myself but to a company. I was looking for you, not for your money." Claire laughed, a bitter, painful laugh. "You lied about being poor just to test my love. You didn't believe in my heart. You broke my faith in honest men, men who value work more than gold. You destroyed everything I loved. But I saved Sebastian." He shouted in despair. "Yes. You threw us a bone, like beggars, to keep your dirty mask." She pointed to the door. "Go away. You killed my faith in honest work and true love. I don't want your money, I don't want your pity. I wanted you. And you were just an illusion." Andrew looked into her cold eyes and understood, he had lost. He hadn't just lost a woman. He had lost his only chance to be himself. He left the shop. His perfect suit felt like heavy iron armor. That night, Andrew didn't sleep. He didn't go to his penthouse but stayed in a small, cheap motel. He called Thomas. Cancel the deal with Miller Enterprises, he said quietly. And prepare the papers. I'm buying the building on Bacon Street, where Claire's shop is. But sir, that's a huge loss. Shouted Thomas. You'll lose half a block. I'm losing more, Thomas, Andrew said. I'm losing myself. The next morning, Andrew came back to Claire. He wasn't wearing his old work clothes, but his suit was dirty, like he had been working all night. He looked tired but calm. He brought a folder with documents. I can't give you luxury, Claire. And I won't give you lies, he said, handing her the papers. I bought this building. Your shop. Your home. You can rent it for $1 a year. It's not a gift, it's protection. Protection of what you love. Claire looked at him, not believing. I can't throw away my name, Claire. I can't leave my company. But I can be honest. I give you all of me, both Andrew and Andy. I can work here, in your shop, if you want. I can sell everything I have if that proves my love. But I can't stop loving you. He knelt down, not caring that his expensive suit got dirty. Take me as I am. The real me. Claire saw the truth in his act. He didn't give up his wealth, he put it on its knees for her love. She understood that his lie came from fear, not pride. She reached out her hand and helped him stand. I love Andy the carpenter, she whispered, tears finally running down her face. But I will marry the honest Andrew. A year later, they got married. The wedding was simple, in a garden, with no reporters or guests from high society. Andrew didn't leave his company, but he often helped Claire in her shop. He had finally learned balance.